You are not even ready for how this all exploded because Prince Harry just got hit with the kind of news that makes even the strongest royal crumble. Imagine waking up thinking life is already chaotic, and then the palace basically announces to your face, yeah, by the way, your royal title's gone. Forever. Not paused, not pending, not we'll revisit it next year. No. The palace hit him with a cold, printed, crest-stamped forever. And the worst part? It wasn't delivered like a warning or a gentle conversation. It came like a legal hammer slamming down, making it painfully clear. You are no longer entitled to the power, privilege, or identity you were born into. The message wasn't emotional. It wasn't soft. It was clean, brutal, and official. Like the monarchy wanted to make sure he felt the door lock behind him. And before anyone even had time to adjust to the idea, everyone realized this wasn't random. The monarchy had been building up to this moment for years. Quietly, patiently, watching, taking notes. And Meghan's actions? Oh, trust me, Meghan's decisions were the exact spark that lit the fuse they had been sitting on. This wasn't just a letter. This was the monarchy snapping after being pushed one too many times. So picture this. A single envelope arrives. Heavy paper, royal crest, that unmistakable Buckingham Palace authority, the kind of envelope that makes your stomach drop before you even open it. Harry and Meghan had dreaded something like this for years. They prayed the day wouldn't come, but it came. And inside was a brand new royal directive, signed off by the palace and parliament, basically shutting down their entire royal identity for commercial use. Let me make this clear. No Duke of Sussex on stage, no Prince Harry on book tours, no Duchess of Sussex slapped onto documentaries or events. Nothing. Their titles are now legally protected from them. Imagine building an entire global brand off your royal aura, and then being told the aura isn't yours anymore. For a couple whose fame, opportunities, and income depend heavily on the royal image, this isn't just a setback. This is a financial earthquake. And yes, Harry was stunned, because deep down he always believed the palace would never go nuclear. He thought the door would stay at least a little open, maybe cracked for future reconciliation. But no, this wasn't cracked. This was welded shut. And to really understand why the palace became this ice-cold and final, you have to go back to the moment when everything actually started slipping out of Harry and Meghan's control. The palace didn't always want war. In fact, they were patient for years. They tiptoed. They avoided escalations. They worried about public backlash. But eventually, they realized something. They had been disrespected in a way they couldn't ignore. Because Queen Elizabeth II, yes, the Queen, gave Meghan and Harry a direct command. Not a gentle suggestion, not a polite royal nudge. A command backed by centuries of royal structure. You may no longer use the HRH style, period. That was the instruction. No, only sometimes. No, just in private. No loopholes. That was it. But what did Meghan do? She kept using it. Sometimes quietly, sometimes boldly, sometimes so confidently that royal advisors honestly couldn't believe it. And here's the messy truth. Using HRH without permission isn't a cute little etiquette slip. It's misusing royal property. HRH doesn't belong to the person. It belongs to the crown. When the crown says stop, you stop. Every royal knows this. It's like Royal 101. But Meghan either didn't understand or refused to accept it. And the palace noticed every single time. First it was Vancouver, where their initials appeared on screen with an HRH-style monogram. Small? Yes, but not invisible. Then came Nigeria. Their farewell dinner introduced them as their Royal Highnesses, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. With the British national anthem playing, the crowd rising, the full royal treatment. Even though the Queen had already stripped them of that right. Then Colombia, addressed with full royal styling, granted protection levels normally reserved for heads of state. Then Meghan signing gift baskets with royal-style signatures. Then accepting honors that only working royals get. It didn't stop. Each incident was like another poke at a sleeping lion. And eventually, the lion woke up pissed. But the breaking point? Ukraine publicly using HRH for Harry. That was it. The palace's patience evaporated instantly. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't accidental. This had become a pattern, a deliberate one. And watching all of this with clenched teeth was Prince William. While Harry and Meghan flew around getting royal treatment without being royals, William was left cleaning up the mess behind the scenes. Because the monarchy survives on credibility, transparency, and public trust. And every unauthorized royal appearance chipped away at all three. William reached his limit quietly, but firmly. Quietly. During an interview with Eugene Levy, he dropped two words that shook everyone who understands royal language. Change is coming. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't attack, he didn't gossip, he simply announced it. And trust me, when a future king says something that calmly, he means business. That was the moment insiders say he officially started pushing for a complete structural response, a legal one, something that would permanently prevent Harry and Meghan from using royal titles as their personal brand. Because William had one mission. He refuses to inherit a monarchy that has lost control control of itself. He refuses to begin his reign with chaos, and he absolutely refuses to let Meghan and Harry rewrite royal rules from across the ocean. So behind closed doors, he didn't go to PR teams or palace aides, he went straight to Parliament. Together, they crafted a law the monarchy never needed before, a law that basically locks royal titles behind an iron door. No royal family member can use a royal title to make money, not for speeches, books, documentaries, endorsements, entertainment, nothing. In other words, Harry and Meghan's entire commercial strategy just got annihilated. The moment this law passed, the letter was sent. And this is where things get especially painful for Meghan, because no matter how independent she seemed, her entire global public image was woven tightly around the title Duchess of Sussex. It opened doors, it built her brand, it made Hollywood fascinated with her. So when Parliament announced that royal titles can no longer be used commercially, Meghan suddenly found herself facing an identity crisis she never imagined. Now she has three choices: Rachel Meghan Markle, Rachel Mountbatten Windsor, Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor. And each one strips away that fairy tale aura she's held since 2018. Sources say Meghan wasn't just shocked, she was hurt. She genuinely believed she could keep the branding even if she wasn't an active royal. She thought she could be a California celebrity and a global duchess. But that's not how royalty works. When the crown withdraws permission, it isn't just a career shift, it's a personal identity wipe. So Meghan is now left asking a question she never wanted to confront. Who is she without the palace behind her name? And while they were still dealing with this emotional punch, reports came out that Harry and Meghan immediately sought legal advice. Full strategic counsel, not casual chats. They believe the new law is unfair, they believe it restricts their freedom, they believe William pushed this for personal reasons, and yes, insiders say this could escalate into a full legal challenge, meaning Harry and Meghan might actually go to court over royal titles. If that happens, it would be the first time in modern history that a prince challenges Parliament and the monarchy itself from the outside. It would be explosive on a global scale. But here's the craziest part. That might actually happen. And while all of this chaos unfolds, the monarchy stands at a crossroads. The Queen's era of stability is gone. What remains is a fractured family, a shifting institution, and a royal system trying to survive a modern world where public reputation is everything. And in the middle of this storm stand Harry and Meghan, once the golden couple, once the fairy tale chapter, now cut off, stripped back, and forced to rebuild without the titles that once carried them across the world. This story doesn't end with the letter. This letter is just the spark, the beginning of a new battle between the monarchy and the couple who walked away from it. And here's where things get even more intense, because once that letter hit their doorstep, the shock inside Harry and Meghan's circle wasn't quiet, it was volcanic. Meghan, who once walked into royal events glowing with confidence, suddenly had this moment of silence, the kind that hits you when you realize the fantasy you built your world around has snapped in half. She wasn't just hurt, she was blindsided. Everything she had molded her career around, every interview, every production, every public appearance, was tied to one golden thread: Duchess of Sussex. It wasn't just a title to her, it was the spotlight, the prestige, the stamp of global intrigue that made the world watch her every move. Losing that, even symbolically, was losing an entire identity she had invested her heart and ambition into. And now imagine being told that not only can you not use your royal titles, you can't even lean on them indirectly, you can't hint at them, you can't build around them, you can't monetize even the shadow of them. Parliament didn't leave a single crack open, because this law was designed like a fortress aimed squarely at preventing Harry and Meghan from profiting off royalty again. That's when the panic set in, because without the royal angle, everything changes. The documentaries don't hit the same, the keynote speeches lose their edge, the corporate deals suddenly feel less urgent, the glamour dims. And Meghan, who had leaned so deeply into the power of that identity, now had to face the terrifying thought that her name alone might not hold the same magnetic pull it once did. That kind of emotional hit doesn't just bruise, it shatters. Harry, meanwhile, wasn't just stunned, he was devastated. Because whether he admits it or not, royal blood has been his anchor since birth. Even when he walked away physically, some part of him believed the connection would always linger spiritually, symbolically. He believed the palace might be cold, but never final, that there would always be a hallway light left on for him. But this letter wasn't a dim light. It was a slammed door, one that echoed through every part of his identity. And losing something you were born into, something you never imagined could be taken, that kind of loss hits deeper than public humiliation. It hits your soul. Sources say Harry was angry, confused, pacing, venting, feeling cornered. Because now he wasn't the prince fighting for privacy or independence. He was a prince stripped of recognition, status, and the very foundation of his name. And royalty is not just a title. It's a currency, a shield, a legacy. Without it, he felt exposed, small, and uncertain. And just when this emotional storm couldn't get heavier, the whispers began. Whispers of legal strategies, whispers of challenging Parliament, whispers of pushing back publicly if the palace didn't reconsider. Meghan especially was reportedly determined not to let this chapter define them. But challenging a law backed by the monarchy? That's not just bold, it's historic. It's the kind of move that shatters centuries of quiet royal obedience. If they go through with it, Harry would be the first royal in modern times to legally fight the crown from the outside. Can you imagine the headlines, the global tension, the royal panic, the media storm? It would turn the monarchy into a battleground and Harry and Meghan into the center of a historical war they never expected to be part of. But behind all this noise, behind the legal chatter and royal power plays, lies the emotional wreckage. Meghan staring at a future where she is no longer the Duchess. Harry realizing he is no longer the prince the world once bowed to. Their children growing up without the royal glow they once believed they could inherit naturally. And the monarchy now locked tighter than ever. William stepping into his role as protector of the crown, drawing lines his grandmother never dared draw. Parliament standing firmly behind him, the institution rebuilding its walls. Harry and Meghan, once celebrated as the future of modern royalty, now stand outside those walls, forced to build a legacy without the titles that once carried their names across continents. The letter wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the storm that's still unfolding. One that could reshape the monarchy, the Sussexes, and everything the royal world once understood.